Hey, so I just wanted to make a little video on how I did tail wag speeds in Live2d. And it's not the most efficient method probably, so always down for critique, but just wanted to show the method that I worked out for this model. So the model I've been testing it on is for Cyber, and I've just linked tail wag speed to mouth smile. So you can see when I'm not smiling, it's just a regular tail speed, and then when I smile, the tail will go up. I like how on Shy Lily's model, for example, it just adds that little extra emotion. As for the method, I just have two things rigged. One is a rotation deformer to turn up the tail, and the other is some skinning with the monkey method. In addition, we've also got some parameters that link up to physics. The first two are switches, with the first one being a range of -1 to 1 and a default of 0, and the second speed has a default of -1, which means it'll be off. Next two are physics, which we're linking up to our tail wag. The next two are our conditional physics, and the last one is offset to offset our conditional physics. So in our physics window, I've just made physics for the tail. Generally like to keep duration pretty short as well as speed pretty fast. It just means it updates fast enough to be able to react with quicker movements. In our input, I have wag speed 2, wag speed 1, wag offset, and tail up. Tail up isn't required, but it just gives a little bit of movement when the tail goes up. And this just outputs to our skinning rotation deformers. We also have a few other physics set up. We have a speed 1, speed 2, and offset. Speed 1 and 2 simply pass through a parameter with an additional switch, which will max out the range of the output. The offset will take the two switches and output it to its own parameter, and we can just feed that into the tail in the opposite direction to offset movement. For a little demonstration on how that works, if I move 1, they'll pass through to speed 1 no problem and pass onto the tail. If we move 2, nothing will happen, and that's just because it's maxed out at the moment. If I center 2 and max out 1, now 2 will work no problem and 1 won't work anymore. Lastly, I just made an idle animation and animated the inputs at 2 different speeds. In VTube Studio, I set up the idle animation and set up 3 cards with mouth smile as their input. The first one's output is tail up in the higher range of smile. The second one turns the speed 2 on when I smile, and the third one turns speed 1 off. And that's it. Enjoy your tail wags.